Well, Kysre, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. You're definitely one of my role models, so it's super cool to have you here sitting next to me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So to start off, as you may know, I'm 17 and I'm a junior in high school, which I'm assuming is a little different than the people who are usually interviewing you. So I want to start off and, travel back to when you were 17 and hear about your 17-year-old self.
Oof, that was so long ago.
I'm not trying to make you feel old.
17, I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
I had just signed my letter of intent to University of Michigan.
Yes.
Won Miss Basketball for the state of Michigan, Gatorade Player of the Year. I was just really, I think that was kind of the kickoff of my success when it came to ball. Very naive, very young, very wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, all on the right track.
Yeah.
I were to say.
I feel like you sound like the coolest 17-year-old ever. Like Miss Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year. I mean, that's insane.
She was cute, Yeah, but you definitely look better.
So actually, one of my questions is going to be, how did you handle all that aura? Because if I was right now, Gatorade Player of the Year, Miss Basketball, I'd literally be my head would be blowing up.
So the funny thing about it was I didn't really tap into my femininity until I was about 23, 24.
Oh, really?
I was a tomboy. I didn't really put too much, thought into my aesthetic, about how I looked. It was just ball, but when I started growing into my womanhood a little bit, body started filling out a little bit, started exploring, found out about mascara, changed my life,
that's a good one.
but I'm glad that I had that, naivety growing up, and then be able to appreciate, the balance of, where I'm at now, especially with all the glitz and the glamour and behind closed doors, just being myself.
Yeah, totally. So was your goal to make it to the W as a teenager, or did you have another career path that you wanted to?
Absolutely. That was the goal.
No question.
Yeah, everything that I said I wanted to do and accomplish, it has come to pass. But that was something that was instilled in my heart since I was young, especially because that's when the W first started. I actually was born and raised in Houston before I moved to Michigan. And my next door neighbor was Van Chancellor, who was the head coach of the Houston Comets at the time. So I was always around Cheryl and Tina, and all the girls. And so I knew, right then and there, I was I want to play in the WNBA one day. I used to do the junior basketball games at halftime.
Okay, so you'd always been around.
Yes.
And both of your parents play basketball. Your dad in the NBA.
Yeah, I come from a basketball heritage. He's an NBA player. My mom is a national champion. Played underneath Kim Mulkey. My grandfather is a Hall of Famer. Coach. My
basketball royal family.
Yeah,
basically. That's amazing.
Leave it to me. I wanted to be a gymnast until they turned around and told me I was too tall.
Okay.
And I flipped off a headboard, and I was I'm just gonna stick to basketball.
Yeah. That actually goes perfectly into my next question, which was going to be did you ever feel stressed or overwhelmed knowing that you have all this legendary basketball genes in your family, you have to go through with it,
No, for me, out of the three, no. There's three of us. I loved it. I fell in love with it the moment they put the ball in my hands. I knew I wanted to be great. I knew I wanted to accomplish things, and I knew I wanted to get to the highest level. What it has done for me hasn't shifted my perspective until I've gotten older. But knowing the impact that ball has had on my life, it literally has been used as a mechanism for me to branch out into longevity. And I feel like God has placed me in position just for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm curious, though, because you are a child of an NBA player, what your thoughts are on Bronny and his situation, and just the whole situation around Nepo babies in basketball.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing, especially in terms of his situation.
Yeah.
I mean, him playing on the same team as his father, it's iconic.
It's so iconic.
However you want to say it, it's reality, and it's something that hasn't been done before, and I'm a firm believer it takes a trailblazer for something to happen and for history to repeat itself. Now, do I think that anyone will have longevity and success like LeBron and do that? No.
That may be impossible, but
probably, that's why he is who he is. But as a father, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise your son. Maybe next up we're gonna see like Deuce in the league. Like who knows?
If I were him, I'd bring my other son on the team. Make it a family affair.
Totally. I know. Next up, Bryce, and then Zuri is, I guess, gonna be the first NBA player that's a girl just joining the league. I love it. That'd be very cool. I feel like there was a Saturday Night Live skit that I used to watch with my dad when I was little, which was it would show like 2030, and it's like LeBron in the finals, and then it would be like 2050 LeBron in the finals, and then it would be like 3000 LeBron in the finals, and every year it'd be like, okay, now his teammates are Cannon and Riley Curry, and like every year, and I thought that was funny. It really shows the longevity that Bron has. So moving it back to you again, because that's why we're doing it. You originally chose Michigan, and then you transferred to West Virginia. I want to hear how you chose Michigan. I know obviously you could have Michigan State, living in Michigan, and then taking us through your official visit.
So my college decision experience was like a roller coaster. I had it in my mind I wanted to go to Baylor. It was done. Like I was like, I'm going to commit to Baylor, especially in just following the heritage. She coached my mom, in college, and so I was like, that's where I want to go. But my grandparents had convinced me to stay home, and I knew that they were getting older, and so I decided to stay. My sister actually was at Michigan State. She was a freshman at Michigan State when I was a senior, and everyone wanted to know when she committed if I was going to follow. But we were attracting, two different, schools,
oh my God,
and the recruiting process, and luckily for her, I got a chance to experience Michigan State before I actually became a college student. So when I was up there with her, I'm like, I know I can't go here. I was like, so did I think that I would be going across, to Michigan? No, but I'm glad that it worked out the way that it did, because it did give my family access to come to my games.
Yeah.
My grandmother got a chance to watch me play before she passed after the season. But I think the ultimate determining factor for me was life outside of basketball. And I was always driving and going home. Like always, mommy, and it hit me. I'm like, I got to grow up. And so that's when I made the decision. I was like, I need to go further away from home. So I'm going to go to Baylor. And I had made up in my mind. I had called them. I was like, I'm coming. This is where I'm supposed to be. They had just won the national championship that year too. And it's funny because the assistant coach for West Virginia at the time recruited me when he was at U of M when I was in the 8th grade. So he had given my mom a call and was like, we hear Kysre's transferring. I know she probably has her mind made up, but can she just give us an opportunity and just come? And so I said, okay, I'll take a visit out of respect, as courtesy. I ended up falling in love and signed on spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it about the school that made you fall in love?
It was just everything. It was the fact that I could live in an apartment. I could have my own space. Just the level of candor.
Did you get to decorate it?
I did.
Oh my God, that's so fun. That would have sold me too.
Yeah. But just the candor from the coaching staff, it was just really genuine. The aesthetic of town, it was, Morgantown is literally the city of West Virginia, in my opinion. And so us being the only athletes in that area, you have, Pittsburgh, and then you have DC. So a lot of people were really invested about, West Virginia sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know, when God tells you this is where you're supposed to be, he places it in your heart, and his voice, that's just what it is. You know, one of the best decisions I ever made, though.
Really?
It was.
Wow, that's huge. So I'm just starting the college process.
Okay.
Because I'm in 11th grade, and so I'm taking the ACT, all that stuff, and I'm actually going to Michigan for the first time next week.
Oh, wow.
And touring Michigan. So I want to know if you have any tips or recs or where you think I should
love the University of Michigan. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Okay.
You're going to be around a lot of smart people.
Yes, I know. It's overwhelming.
And it is. The sports, though, one thing about U of M, though, they take pride in their campus.
Yes.
They take pride in investing, in all of their organizations. I think you're going to love it. That Block M is very powerful. You'll be surprised how many people, you'll meet in this life that have the Block M and turn around and give you an opportunity just because it's I think they have the number one
the alumni. It's crazy
powerful.
How much it matters.
Yeah. And I actually went there during the time when Jim Harbaugh first officially became the coach.
Wow.
And like Jabril, all of them were there, and they were like third in the country. So Michigan
That's
football,
a good
by the
time
way,
to be there. Yeah.
insane.
But Bryce Underwood, the #1 quarterback in class 2025, just signed there. So I feel like that could maybe, if fingers crossed, all goes well, my ACT, my grades, everything like that, maybe I'll get to be there at a time like that too. So you're incredible. Like, let's just say it. You are.
Thank you.
And I'm curious what your 17-year-old self would think about all the amazing things that you've accomplished.
I don't know. I look at myself sometimes like trying to take it all in. My manager, my Shayla,
Literally.
she tells me I'm living in color, and I feel that. I feel it every day when I wake up. But to look back at myself and to know where I've come from, I think as a 17-year-old girl, she would say to me now, thank you for getting out of your own way. Honestly, because I think that when we're younger, we've already predetermined how our life is going to look.
Yeah.
And you can't convince us that it's not going to pan out any other way. And life just hasn't gone the way that I had planned and anticipated it. It's gone better. So I always say, if you want to tell a guy, if you want to make him laugh, you tell him your plans. So if I were you, I would just dream and be free and do whatever the hell you want to do, and never let anybody tell you that you can't do it.
I love that. That's such a good motto. I feel like especially for teenage girls, because people always try to put us in a box, and be like, you have to be this person, and that's why I want to do this, because I think it's really important to share different, unique voices and perspectives. Like, I love telling people, I have this podcast where I interview basketball players, and they're like, you? I'm like, yes, me. Like, girls can do all things, so that's really cool. Okay, now we heard about you when you were 17. I feel like we'd be friends when you were 17. So
yes.
I loved hearing about her. And now I want to move into basketball, fashion, entrepreneurship, all that good stuff. So what was that feeling like, getting drafted to the W, finally fulfilling your dream?
Yeah, it was surreal. I think that moment was like viral. It was all over the place because my name got called and I just started screaming. My mom was sitting on the couch. And just to see myself up there was so surreal. It's crazy, like crazy. It was the way that I got introduced to the world, the way that I did. But again, I don't know how to describe the feeling when, your dreams become a reality. But the crazy part about it is, as excited as I was, I had to start over all over again. Once when you reach a new level at everything that you do, you have to start over again. And that's where the journey is the most exciting part. Because you don't get to stay the same. You get to get better. You get to increase. I'm still starting over every day when it comes to the W stuff, but this is what I've done. So the process, the grind, it's not unfamiliar territory for me.
Totally. What are your thoughts on all the new expansion teams in the W?
I love it. I love it. I think it's an exciting time, not just for women's basketball, but for women's sports in particular. And to see the way that we're being embraced now, it's long overdue.
Totally.
Yeah,
I agree. And if there's a city if you could choose any city to have an expansion team,
Houston. Yeah.
Represent.
I got to bring that back. Yeah. I'm putting it out there. Yeah.
So what is the best advice you've ever been given? I'm sure you've been given a lot of good advice, but I'm sure that there's something specific that's really stuck out.
So my trainer, very dear friend of mine, he told me, sometimes your life is the only Bible that some people may read.
Oh my God, that's like chills. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm always reminding myself that. And it's allowed me to become comfortable in my vulnerability and utilize it as a strength and not as a weakness. To know that every day it's bigger than me. I'm waking up because my Creator is not done with what He has in store for me. So it's just always reminding me to live in my purpose and be authentic and carefree and unapologetically yourself, and that attracts the right people always.
And I feel like, sort of, if I'm hearing this right, you're saying like also confidence is key, which I feel like is such a
Absolutely.
big part. And a lot of teenage girls really struggle with this. So this is a big confidence question, right? If you were to make a scouting report on yourself, how would you describe your game? Now the confidence is really going to come out.
My game
yes,
or me?
No, your
my
game.
And
then you as a person, you can do both.
Yeah. Well, I'm a shooter. Okay. Shoot. Glorilla, shooter, shoot. Kysre, what's up with you? But no, I can shoot the ball really well. I think I'm a very crafty player. People tell me that all the time, and my IQ is very high. I know I lack in other areas in terms of, my physicality, my build, but I've always been able to make it up just because of my IQ for the game.
Yeah.
Great attitude, very coachable, receives information very fast, pays attention to detail immediately, and makes the changes necessary. I just think a very smart, witty, crafty player. Yeah. Very skilled. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, now scouting report
on myself. Yeah. I wouldn't give myself one.
Really?
Because it's limitless.
Yeah.
Who I am and who I'm becoming is limitless.
I see. Okay. How different do you think your personality is to your personality on the court? Because I think that there's people that I've talked to, right, that are explosive on the court, so outgoing, and then you talk to them, they're like, hi, and you're like, wait, that's all you have to say? Like, it seems like...
Over the years, they've been contrasted.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a firecracker growing up. I talked a lot of smack, like all that.
I know something about firecrackers.
Yeah, I'm a Leo, so... Okay. But I think now who I've become off the court has also kind of shaped who I am as a player. I don't get like defensive. I don't get too riled up, fired up. I'm very poised now.
Yeah, that's a big skill. You need that. With all the technicals going on, I swear,
Tell me about it. I always say one thing I do not do, like, ever. I don't argue with refs. Even if a bad call is made, I just don't, because what are you going to get out of it?
I know.
They're not going to change the call,
like,
unless the coach challenge it nowadays.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're just going to scream to your blue in the face, and you still got to run back and get back, so.
That's, a lot of kids need to hear that, I think.
I be saying it, but, to each his own.
Yeah. Is there anyone specific that you draw inspiration from when it comes to your gaming? NBA players, WNBA players.
Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to think in particular. I watched Skylar growing up a lot. But as of late, who I've been watching is Klay Thompson and Devin Booker. Okay. Yeah, I kind of studied their game a little bit. Catch and shoot. Yeah, and then with Devin Booker, the fact that his ability to get to his spots. Yes. Without being rushed, seeing how much his game has grown, because I love the mid-range. Even though I shoot the ball exceptionally well, and, now we live in an era where people only want to shoot three-pointers, I think the mid-range game is a lost art, and it's still something that you need to continue to work on. Especially being a shooter, I'm going to get run off the line all the time, so... Those are the two, I would say.
I love that. I mean, those are good players to model your game.
They are. Like, they are. Me, I have a lot of work to get to where they are, but I do watch.
When day do you think you're going to have 70 in a game, like Devin?
I did already.
Well, I know in high school, but in the W. Trust me, I know in high school.
I don't... Like I said, I got a lot of work to do.
Okay, we'll get there. Fingers crossed. I'm going to be there, sitting courtside when you score 70. And I told her she's
love that for you.
Manifesting, it always works.
You're right.
I'm telling you, it always works. I'm sure you know, but it works. Now, is there anyone that you draw inspiration from when it comes to your fashion or style?
Initially, so when I started studying my revamp, I paid a lot of attention to like Princess Diana, Julia Roberts, Hailey Bieber's style a little bit. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Giselle. I really just kind of went back into time, like in that 90s era, because I wanted my aesthetic to embody where I'm at in my life as a woman. And I found the beauty that less is more. But now when it comes to my own style, I don't compare myself to anybody. I think I kind of got it down pack in terms of how I want to feel, how I want to look.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have the greatest stylist in the game, Colin Carter. I always say I'm colonized. So other than him and myself, I just try to keep it very cutesy, very clean.
Well, you have some of the best tunnel fits in the game.
Thank
you know, you're always on league fits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How long does it take to curate each tunnel fit?
Everyone asks that. Less than 5 minutes.
No.
I'm so serious. It just depends on how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just so like aligned with how I want to dress.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I'll throw on a blazer today. I'll wear a suit.
Yeah.
I'll wear a dress shirt. Just keep it very minimal.
I need you to style me for prom.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what?
I need you.
I'm not gonna put that past you or me because you might be introducing me to another gift that I don't know that I have.
Please, let's do it.
Let me find out. I'll be a stylist too.
I can be like your muse. Okay?
Yes.
High school prom, like think about it. If you're interested.
I love that
please
for
hit me up
you
and let me
because
know.
I went to one prom my entire time in high school.
See, so you can like live through me as a teenage girl.
I would love that.
Okay, let's do it. I'm so excited. But it's really annoying because as a junior, you have to wear a short dress.
Oh, that's perfect.
You think so? But for me, it really like tightens down that like now I see something that I think is perfect, but then I can't wear it. Cause I like short, but then if I see something long that's perfect, then it's stressful. And that's just too much.
We gonna get
okay,
you
she's
right.
gonna do it. I'm just, you know what? I'm done talking.
We can elevate the look.
Okay, good. I'm excited. Is there an NBA player or a WNBA player other than yourself that you think their fashion, their style is spot
on? I adore Cameron Brink.
Yeah.
I think she's so classy.
She is.
On the men's side, NBA players,
None of them.
yeah. I would say outside of sports, I think Pharrell.
Yeah.
I like his style a lot. Yeah.
For sure. I just love league fits. That's like my favorite.
They're so nice. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my relationship with them, they're good people.
Yeah.
And they're always showing mad love.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we live in a time now where they pay more attention to how you arrive in the game than the actual game.
I know. Well, on that topic, I feel like it's so interesting because now basketball and fashion and pop culture are one practically. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious what you think about that, and if you think, I don't know if it's almost a distraction as a player to think that there's so much more that goes into it than just basketball.
I don't think it's a distraction as a player.
Yeah.
I think it's a distraction for everyone else. Especially, and I'll use my situation as an example. I get a lot of attention because of the way I look and how I dress. And so because of that, people try to categorize a narrative circulating around what's more important. That doesn't bother me because no matter how I look coming in, I have a job to do.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, and I'm pretty sure a lot of, players could feel the same way.
Totally.
It's the demands and the misinterpretations that people place on us. I don't think that it bothers how we view ourselves.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it's great for us because it's expanding our brands.
Totally.
That's all.
Yeah. I mean, athletes, it's amazing how athletes can be so much more than just what they are on the court. I love that. What is one aspect of your game that you are most proud of? And what is one aspect of your game that you want to improve?
One thing I'm most proud of, I would say this past season for me was, excuse my language, was getting my ass in shape. Everyone laughed at me because I was so tiny, but I was flying on the court. Like in practice, the coaches would laugh, the girls would laugh because I would always like be first and be running around 100 miles an hour. But I think the level of discipline that it takes to be prepared makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
So I was really proud of myself for that in terms of getting in shape for that level. Because, I've always been in shape, but that level is a lot quicker.
Being in shape for the W is a whole different story than D1.
So
right?
I was really proud of that because coming in, especially my rookie year, I didn't have that. Even though I had the IQ and the skill, my body wasn't ready. The thing that I do want to work on, I would say, is probably continuing to elevate that. Just because I've gotten quicker, now I got to be mindful that I do need to endure and embrace the physicality and the bumping and the build of the women in the league, because they're dogs. They can play.
Yeah.
They can play. The women in the league can play. And so just respecting other people's game, but also respecting myself, knowing that I belong as well.
Yeah, no, that's so important. In the next 5 years, who's going to be the face of the W and why?
I mean, I'm going to say Angel.
Okay.
I think she's the face of the league already. My opinion.
Yeah. And
rightfully so.
It's cool to see, too, in addition to Angel, Caitlin, whatever, Juju and all these girls on the come up.
Yeah, I know Juju and Paige, those girls are coming, but I just think that Angel's presence and her aura is very loud.
Yeah.
And she embraces everything that comes with her.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's just different amongst everyone else, especially in the upcoming generation that's, obviously younger. She's kind of mastered that at 21, 22 years old. So I think. Yeah,
I'd have to agree with that. And I think it's funny because it's a weird thing to think about, but whenever I look at the Angel Reese meal, it actually makes me realize how incredible she is. Because, you can be the face of the W, whatever, but having a meal at McDonald's, like, they only really give that to if you were, like, one of the most famous athletes on the planet. And I don't think we've necessarily seen someone before that was in the W that could have that range sort of and be that noticeable, be on the face of a McDonald's meal. Like that's you have to be really famous to do that. It's so cool to see. Like you said, at 21, I mean, she was just a rookie and already has this. Sky's the limit. Yeah,
I mean, as long as she continues to just be herself and pave the way, I mean, it gives permission for all of us, to be ourselves. But I'm glad I got a chance to watch it up close and personal. She's doing great.
She is. She's amazing. Who is your dream WNBA player to share the court with and why? And I guess you could also say just professional basketball players in general, college basketball players, because I know your mom, national champion. That would obviously be cool.
I would say Deanna Nolan. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She played for the Detroit Shock back in the day when they won a championship, and I was obsessed with them. When I moved to Michigan, my dad would make me sit down and watch all the games and watch her play.
How old were you at this point?
It was probably maybe 10, 11, 12.
Really little.
Probably, I don't even know. But it was in, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say it was in 2008.
Okay.
When they won, so however old I was.
I was one, so wow. I don't really remember, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, but definitely her. It was, her game is something that my dad stressed and modeling mine after.
Okay, love it. What is your Mount Rushmore of WNBA players?
Okay. So I'm going to go with Lisa Leslie. I'm going to go with Cheryl. I'm going to go with Candace. I'm going to say Candace.
Sloane Knows alum, by the way.
Yeah? Okay, yeah. I'm going to go with her simply because I didn't realize that she was Rookie of the Year and MVP her first year.
That's insane.
And then she got pregnant.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Got pregnant and then continued to be.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Those three, let me see. Who else?
I feel like it's not talked about enough how hard it is to be a female athlete when you get pregnant and like how insane it is to bounce back.
I'll talk about it because that's why
we need to.
Ain't no baby coming out of me until I retire because kudos to the women that go back. It's a incredible grind. Yeah. I mean, women are just amazing.
They are.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of two others. Those are like my top three.
Okay, that's fair. We can do a podium. That's fine. That works. Who is the best trash talker in the W?
Well, she just announced her retirement, but I would say Diana Taurasi by far.
Do you have any specific stories of her trash talking?
None that I don't want to air out. Okay. I've been a part and heard some. Yeah.
What is your favorite clothing brand?
I'm gonna say right now, like the actual brand or where I get clothes from.
Both. Let's answer it all.
My favorite. Well, I would say my favorite place to get clothes from would be Revolve.
Oh, same. It's bad though because in school I just sit on my computer and just scroll for like years on Revolve.
That's okay. I used to do that all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need an adult to tell me that
You're
it's okay.
17. It's okay.
I'm going to be doing that
That's
now.
what you're supposed to be
Okay,
doing
good.
at 17. Rather you scroll and do that versus scrolling on social media.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's true.
That's how I grew up. Yeah. I would say Revolve is the best for me in order to get clothes. Not my favorite brand. I'm just trying to figure out what I wear the most. I'm a blazer girl. I feel like that's what my aura and my aesthetic is known for. And I've fallen in love with men's oversized clothing. So I wouldn't necessarily one in particular, but I like vintage, like shops and pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Vintage. Thrifting is fun, but then it's like if you actually go, I feel like when you're like digging, then it's so tiring. It's like such an exercise.
It is.
You know?
It takes work to shop.
Instead of exercising, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go shopping. Like I'm gonna get an equal.
It's work.
It really is.
Exercise.
Yeah. What is your post-game cheat meal?
So I'm very disciplined. I don't really eat crazy.
Okay.
But yams.
What? Yams is your post-game cheat meal?
Yeah. After the games in Chicago, I would go to this place. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know why I can't think of them. But I used to go to their place, Jerk Villa. Soul food like crazy. Like from the yams to the mac and cheese to the cabbage to the wings with the jerk. I get down when that time comes, but I'm pretty disciplined.
So the yams.
But the yams for sure. Especially, I think I'm supposed to be going to a steakhouse tonight. I hope I can order some or whatever, the sweet potatoes. Yeah.
Interesting. So like if you had a choice, like let's pretend like we weren't talking about like calories, anything like that, and you could eat sweet potato fries, yams, or just like regular French fries, but the best ones possible. Which would you choose?
I would choose yams by far, and then the sweet potato fries, and then the fries.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've never heard someone say that before in my life. That's really funny. So then is your favorite food yams?
Yes.
Okay, it's
it
your
is.
favorite food.
It's yams and then seafood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best restaurant in LA? I know you don't live here, but when you come here.
So I need to ask you, what's the best restaurant in LA?
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know what I would say. I love Mr. Chow's, which is like
I've heard of that place.
It's actually literally on this street.
Okay.
It is the best Chinese food ever. Like,
Okay.
So fire. But if you're like really healthy, then like you wouldn't like it because it's like not healthy whatsoever.
It's okay.
Okay, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you go to Erewhon ever or no?
No.
Okay. I mean, like, I know that's like so basic, but I love their smoothies.
Okay.
They're just so good. Like, that's usually what I get after school. That's
Okay.
like my
Noted.
go-to.
Yeah, I gotta get a little bit more familiar with LA.
Wait, also, okay, have you ever been to the Big Chill? Do you know what that is?
No.
No. Okay, so the Big
Sorry.
Chill is like an LA staple, like froyo, ice cream, all of that. It's
Okay.
so fun. And like when you go there, there's always a giant line out the door. And that's something my parents, like from when I was super little, we would always go there. I don't know if people know it who are like tourists, but like
Okay.
LA locals, like that's where you have to go. It's so good.
I'm gonna make sure. I
Okay,
write
try and
that
please
down.
let me know. I'm really
Okay.
excited. So that's like the like trade-off. I'll give you restaurant recs and then you help me with my prom dress, okay?
Okay.
Good deal, good deal. If you could go to dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, it's so aggressive.
Sorry. I know, I'm just going from yams to anyone dead or alive.
Girl, you gonna be all right. You're a little smart. Who would I go to dinner with? I would say Princess Diana. Yeah.
What would you talk about? There's a lot of questions you could ask her. Like,
I wouldn't ask questions. I would just go.
listen?
Yeah, like I would go with the flow. When you talk about aura,
she's
yeah. Like I love trailblazers.
Totally.
Like I'm very attracted to people who find joy in breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
And just off rip, she's just the first person that I could think of.
Would you ever get a haircut like hers, like a little tiny micro bob?
So yes.
Really?
when I'm in my 30s. I've already
Okay.
been thinking about it.
Oh, so you're like, you know that this is gonna happen.
I used to have long hair, and then I went into this little bob. So I'm like, the next cut.
Is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I know that this is gonna change. Maybe this is just because I'm in like my teenage era right now.
No,
I'm
I'm
never
gonna
cut my
give
hair.
you some advice. Don't touch your hair.
Okay, yeah.
Do
Thanks.
not
I'm
touch
never
your
gonna.
hair.
I'm never gonna.
There's more than enough nowadays in this generation. You can throw something on if you want to, but
True.
don't touch your hair.
When I was little, though, I was a huge soccer fan. I still am. And I wanted my hair like Neymar so badly. And I would beg my mom, please, please, can I get a mohawk? Can I get a buzz cut? And she was like, girl, no. And now I'm very thankful that she didn't let me get that. So it's good. Good parenting. Don't let your daughter cut their hair like Neymar. Who was your favorite non-basketball athlete?
I would say Serena. I love her. Yeah, I cried when she lost.
I feel like everyone did.
Yeah, so I've never cried over anyone else. So yeah.
Have you gotten the chance to meet her?
I have. That's my
Wow.
girl.
What was that like the first time?
It was surreal. We actually met at Essence this past year for I think like the Summer Fest.
Okay.
And I've actually worked with her and her team with her makeup. And I just saw now that she's got the ownership for the new expansion team for the WNBA. So love to see her coming over in our lane.
Hopefully, a little collab right there. Okay. What is your favorite movie?
Paid in Full.
I've never seen that.
You should wait.
Okay.
I like drug movies. Like, so I'm into like Scarface, obviously Paid in Full, Belly. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I haven't.
Okay.
Good? Okay,
Yeah.
Good. What is your favorite TV show?
I would say Power.
I thought you were going to say Breaking Bad because you said you love drug stuff.
I don't
Shows.
I've actually haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard of Breaking Bad?
No.
Okay, I don't know if I'm like wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's like the most famous TV show ever.
I be so tapped out of reality.
Okay, that you
It's
know, you just know
okay.
the what you like.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
No,
I like
yeah.
that. I'm gonna take that advice and be like, no, I don't care what other people like. I just like what I like. That's a vibe.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite video game?
Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite podcast?
This one.
Okay, thank you. Can we say it? Sloane Knows is my favorite podcast.
Sloane Knows. This is my favorite podcast.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Do you have a hidden talent?
I do. A lot of them. But I'm gonna keep it hidden.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Describe your style in one word.
Timeless.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Bluebell homemade vanilla.
So I've actually had yam flavored ice cream before. And that's a very LA thing. There's this place called Sweet Rose. They have very weird ice cream flavors.
I'm intrigued to.
I would think you would be. So I really
Okay.
want to find you some because like I feel like you would love it. Like sweet potato ice cream, yam, that's like a thing.
Okay.
Olive oil ice cream, all that.
The most kind of creative ice cream
Yeah.
I've had is the banana pudding one. I just found out what Bluebell was last year.
Okay, but vanilla, you're just vanilla, straight up.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. It's funny because I feel like you have so much flavor and so many things in life, but then your ice cream like doesn't really show. It's just vanilla. What is your favorite candy?
Sour Patch's watermelon heads.
Oh, strong.
I don't even eat candy, but if you put a bag in front of me, I will
Yeah.
down it in probably by like an hour.
Same. Those are insane. Who is the most famous person in your contacts?
I can't do that. Woo. I'm gonna say my manager.
Shayla. She is so famous.
No, she's iconic. Are you kidding?
She is.
Yeah,
She is.
yeah.
One day I'll get it out of you. One day I will. Okay, and then lastly, what is your celebrity or who is your celebrity lookalike?
Oh, I'm hearing nonstop Carrie Hilson.
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna look it up. How
Are
do
you
spell
serious?
It? Yeah, I don't know. I'm like a baby. Okay, wait. How do you spell her name?
Have you ever heard the song "Pretty Girl Rock"? Her.
Okay, wait. How do you spell?
Keri.
K-E.
And then Hilson.
Okay,
Oh
let's see.
God.
Oh, I see that. Should I show the camera? Flip it around. This one is where you look like her. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
I recently did a spread for Essence for the January, February collection, and I did a pixie cut haircut. And it was the same haircut she had, I think, in her 20s.
Oh, okay.
And so everyone was like, oh, Miss
That's
Carrie,
really sick.
baby, you know? So, yeah.
All right, so the last segment of Sloane Knows is called Sloane Knows Your Game Trivia.
Okay.
I feel like you're going to be good at this, but a lot of the other players that I interview, they have a lot to say, and then they don't actually know anything really about themselves. Like, they forget all their stats, and they're really bad, and I know more than them, which I love, but I'm scared because, like, you're really smart, and I feel like you may know a lot. Anyways,
Okay.
So let's see how this game works. My first question is, in college, you had your career high in points and assists in the same game. Do you remember who you played, as well as how many points and how many assists you had?
30 and 10, TCU.
Got one little detail wrong.
What?
9 assists. You rounded
You're
up.
right.
You rounded up.
You're right.
Sloane
you're
knows.
right.
Obviously, I'm right.
You're
Come on.
right.
Okay. You were picked 4th in the 2021 WNBA draft. Do you remember the 3 people picked ahead of you?
Charlie. Ari. She
Yes.
was picked 3rd. It was a girl from overseas, wasn't
Yes.
it? Drafted to Dallas.
Yes.
I don't know her name, but I know.
Okay, let's try my hardest to pronounce this. Uwok Kuiria.
I think that was her.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you get like half point on that one. So
Okay.
Like 1.5 points.
Fair.
Do you know how many points you scored in your first college game at Michigan, and do you know which team you played against?
I'm gonna take that L, sweetheart.
Okay, what if
Yeah.
you want to guess? I feel like you could guess well.
I know in my pregame when we played Central Michigan, I had 28 and 8, but that
Okay.
one doesn't count.
So this is against Oakland, and you had 19 points, which is an insane college debut.
It's cute.
Yeah. Okay. Your rookie year with the Fever, they had 3 other rookies on the roster. Do you remember who those 3 other rookies were?
Yeah, so Aaliyah, me,
Yes.
and Chelsea.
Yes. There's another.
There was?
Yeah. Bernadette Hatar. Hatar. I don't know.
She's from overseas. I know exactly who you're.
Okay. Hatar? Hater?
Is she?
Well, what is her last name? Hater? It's not. It couldn't be. Hater.
I know. I
It would
know
be
who
Hatar.
you're talking about. I know faces.
Okay, faces.
I'm
Faces. Sorry,
Yeah.
Bernadette. Okay, and then my last trivia question for you. Do you know how many followers you have on Instagram and how many followers you have on Twitter?
I'm gonna say I had 608 or
607,000 on Instagram.
On Twitter, I want to say 171.7.
Yes, I know you were just looking at that because that's exactly right. Okay, Kysre, get ready for this. I want you to nominate the next Sloane Knows guest, but there's a catch. Ready?
Okay.
You have to get them on the podcast. Who is that going to be?
Not you put me on the spot.
I have to.
Oh, athlete or
Well, I've only interviewed athletes so
Athletes?
far, but, you know. Someone you mentioned earlier.
I'm gonna say Cameron.
Yeah, okay, good.
Nah,
That's what
yeah,
I
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
say
say.
I'm gonna
Thank
say
you, thank you.
Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're going to help me? Get it on?
For sure.
Promise? Okay, you promise?
I promise.
Shake on it?
No, it's
Pinky?
pinky and then the thumb. Oh,
That's
you
what
do
have
the
to
kisses?
like that. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, done.